Okay, welcome to this video. We are going to be talking about our Akashic Records upcoming certification for level 1. I am getting super excited to host this training, especially after doing a whole bunch of Akashic Records readings this morning. So I wanted to actually come here and actually give you like the logical what's happening inside of our certification, what can you expect, because the journey to learning how to access your own Akashic Records is, in my opinion, the first stage of spiritual mastery. It is when you are fully calling your power back from things outside of you to give you spiritual direction, like signs, synchronicities, tarot, oracle, etc., and calling your power back within yourself. Learning how to read the Akashic Records is a journey of spiritual awareness, of spiritual mastery, and of truly refining the individual and person you are to be somebody that is able to hold and access the Akashic Records. This is being able to tap into your own soul's guidance along your journey. This skill and resource in itself is absolutely priceless, and it is the best investment that you will ever make. Learning how to properly, ethically, and responsibly and respectfully open the Akashic Records is the thing that will be with you for the rest of your spiritual journey. I fully believe that anybody who is spiritually awake or conscious should be reading the Akashic Records. You should have this training. You should have this access and have this knowledge, because this is a skill that you are going to use quite literally for the rest of your life. Whether it's planning out your business, your finances, support with healing, challenges, finding solutions, being able to map out and navigate as you're navigating through anything in your life, positive or negative, being able to have a strong spiritual connection to God, Creator, Source is the number one priority that you should have in your spiritual journey. So I want to break down what you're going to receive inside of our Akashic Records training, because my training is not just a little surface level training. It is a very deep training. As I've read the Akashic Records for over 5.5 years and been teaching for about 4.5 years, and certified over 450 students in my Akashic Records certifications over this time, and have a very strong focus in my Akashic Records trainings on ensuring that, first of all, I'm not just teaching you how to access the Akashic Records, but I'm preparing you on a body, mind, and spirit level to be able to retain the information that's in the Akashic Records, actually receive visions and messages, because if you're just trying to do it through YouTube meditation, you're not actually clearing the blocks you might have. So within my certification, we obviously and of course cover all of the potential blocks that you might have, and we don't just talk about them, we actually heal them with quantum healing. So you really walk away with an extensive training, extensive healing, and access to the Akashic Records. So we have a lot of education that we cover, of course. We need to educate you on the Akashic Records beyond just that they're a book of wisdom. We go into the quantum perspective, explaining them on an energetic and quantum level so that you can truly grasp when you're going into the Akashic Records. First of all, where are you going? What are you doing? Where is this information coming from? Etc. Our training also prepares you on a mental, physical, and emotional and spiritual level. So the Akashic Records is something that you need to release your mental blocks around. You need to be in energetic congruency to. You need to have a healthy body and high spiritual hygiene. And so we really navigate opening you up to making some big life changes that are going to support you in being a clear channel. We also then go through the purification and clearing of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. So instead of just teaching you how to access the Akashic Records, we're going to go into, okay, how can you actually be a person that is able to hold open the Akashic Records for an extensive period of time? So a lot of people have contracts and vows that are blocking them from opening the Akashic Records. A lot of people have, blocks on their third eye that don't allow them to receive visions. So inside of our training program, we really break down all of the things that are going to stop you from actually accessing into the Akashic Records. We also go through education, activation, and refinement of your major psychic senses. So my training is never, ever, ever going to be something that you need all this spiritual work done before you enter. It's something that even if you've never had a vision in your life, you can still enter and trust that you're going to be able to receive the skills and resources to get the visions and the records and be able to truly, truly, truly feel confident in them as well. If you are somebody that already gets visions, you already are more spiritually inclined, you're going to end up refining your psychic senses, which we can always use more refinement, as well as trust within these senses. So it is a really empowering journey of learning how to become the version of yourself that you need to be in order to access the records and the spiritual guidance and truth. In my personal and professional opinion, Learning how to read the Akashic Records is something that anybody who is spiritual should know how to do. It is and should be a basic resource and skill that you have. You're always going to want spiritual guidance, so why not be in a position and place in your life where you can access this guidance and wisdom yourself without needing to go to a tarot card, without needing to ask for a sign, being able to have that self-empowerment of just knowing, okay, I'm gifted enough to turn within, look within, and get my own wisdom from my Akashic Records. Best decision that you'll ever make in your life. So that being said, this training is happening this weekend, August 30th to 31st. So if you are curious to learn how to access your own Akashic Records and receive this training, we have 2 live calls on August 30th and August 31st. We also have a big content bank, so we have about 10 to 12 hours of pre-recorded content just for level 1 alone, between education, previous calls, pre-recorded videos, guided meditations, and quantum healings. As I had mentioned earlier today, within the context of our program, I'm educating you, but I'm also ensuring that I'm clearing the blocks away. I don't want you to be trying to go into the records, but you have a past life block that literally says you can't enter them. I'm gonna need to clear that. So we always include these types of things, both in the pre-recorded content and the live. Our live calls are usually a solid combination of about an hour of training, 30-ish minutes of some sort of meditation or attunement, and 30 minutes of quantum healing and activation. So you get a whole experience when you're in our training calls together. We also do have level 2, so if you are looking to add this service to your business or start a business, I always say the Akashic Records is a service that if you're transitioning from like a 9 to 5 and you're going into spiritual business, you're going to want to have something like the Akashic Records in your tool belt, because this is a very profitable and impactful skill. It is something that can be charged for at a high price. Therefore, it's going to be something that's a lot easier to mimic that 9 to 5 salary and give you the financial security and comfort. I say Akashic Records reader is similar to that of like a doctor, lawyer, when it comes to the actual salary and financial abundance that's attached to each of these roles. Of course, you can ascend beyond that, but that's the metaphor that I use to kind of explain on a spiritual setting for those who are taking spiritual business seriously and who are looking to transition from 9 to 5, or who are looking to scale your spiritual business. The Akashic Records and things like quantum healing, which we won't talk about today, is the path and direction to take for more of that high ticket income. So level 2 is happening after level 1. We're just solidifying the dates as we have eclipse season, so things are a little bit interesting with that. But if you are interested in signing up for level 1, you can do so through the top of my page. I am super excited for this upcoming weekend. I do actually want to keep our Akashic Records training a little bit more intimate and small, just because I do open the opportunity for you throughout the program to ask any question you have. Even if you had like 200 questions, if you sent them, I'm going to answer them. So I don't want to have more than 8 people in the program, which means there's only 3 spaces left. So if you are interested in joining into our Akashic Records certification, whether it's level 1 or level 1 and 2, you can do so through the top of my page. And if you are either already in the program or considering joining the program and you're wanting to build out your Akashic Records business, and you want support on actually, understanding how can you be a standout Akashic Records reader, because I would say right now the Akashic Records, there's not so many people doing it, but it has grown dramatically since I started in 2020, and it's going to continue to grow dramatically. I do believe this year and next year it'll be a big boom. So if you are wanting to be a leader in the industry, you are wanting to be somebody that also knows how to structure a business around the Akashic Records, who wants to know how to price within the records, who wants to know how to create energetically aligned content for the Akashic Records, we do have an Akashic Records business training. This is an intensive training from October 2nd to 4th, so the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We're going to be doing about 90-minute calls per day, and we're going to be covering everything to support you in being a leader in the Akashic Records industry, or within whatever spiritual world you're in right now, but being able to be somebody who is able to have this long-lasting, successful, and stand-out business. So you can still get in on the early bird pricing for that, since the training is a little bit far away. And then we do have our teacher training, so if you are curious to teach the Akashic Records, this is going to be happening in October. So if you are interested in that, you can find out more information at the top of my page. Also, if you just want to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can do so at the top of my page. I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to see you in the training. And if you're watching this on YouTube, description box below. I was also going live on Instagram. So you'll find all the information for our training in the description box below. One-on-ones are there as well. I am so excited. I also have an introduction class, so if you're like, what even are the Akashic Records? I'm really drawn to them, but I don't really want to invest in a full training without more knowledge of them. I do have my introduction class. You can grab that below. That is an amazing place to start if you want a resource. It's about an hour-long class on all things Akashic Records. So I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to see you in our training.